Peace once again, my fellow expressions of consciousness. In today's video, I'm going to break down a gospel verse, John 1:1. Let's delve into the real truth behind this biblical verse. Now, it says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." In the beginning was the Word. This is truly talking about the mind. The recognition of a beginning, the recognition of a word can only take place in the subject-object relationship experience, what we call duality. Duality is experienced via what? The mind. It's due to the mind that we experience duality. This is why when you are sleeping in deep sleep, you are not aware of anything dual, any me versus you. We call it nothing because we are not aware of anything due to the lack of that aspect of ourselves that we call mind, which creates duality, creates a barrier seemingly between our whole self, and it acts as like a prism to filter that whole self through itself to create this experience that we call individuality, duality. So in the beginning was the Word is talking about the manifestation of duality via the mind. And the Word was with God. Where else can the mind come from but the source of itself? Pure consciousness. Another word, God. That which is whole and complete. The fundamental aspect of reality. The fundamental nature of reality. Where else can mind come from? It can only come from its source. So even though the mind is not always present, again, such as in deep sleep, when it's not present, it's because it's abiding in its source, God or pure consciousness. So that's where it was before it manifested, and the Word was God. Because the mind is still pure consciousness. It's still the source. It doesn't come from anywhere else other than the source. So pure consciousness, God, awareness, the truth. I'm using all of these words interchangeably because they can be interchanged. They are synonyms when we're talking about truth on this high level. And the Word was God. The mind is pure consciousness. The mind is consciousness. The mind is its source. The same way your wooden table legs are still wood. The same way the wave of the ocean is still water. If you was at the beach with your friend and you saw some cool waves, but your friend did not, and he asked you, were the waves water? You would say, of course the waves was water. The Word was God. The waves was water. That is to say, the waves' original state was just water. That is to say, the wooden legs' original state was just wood. But again, the form creates this dualistic experience where we can identify it as separate from its source, from its blank slate of just being wood or just being water. So fundamentally, I'm asserting this verse is talking about the birth of experience, therefore the birth of reality, as it's talking about the birth of duality. In the beginning was the Word, in the beginning was the mind, in the beginning was perception, in the beginning was awareness of something other than oneself. And the Word was with God. This perception couldn't come from anywhere other than its source. Pure consciousness is another word for it. And the Word was God. This pure consciousness, this mind, are the same thing. The mind is simply just a form of the source of itself. So the source can mold itself into these little aspects of itself that we call mind. Just as you can have a lump of clay and fashion that clay into a knife and fork, the substance of the knife and fork will still be clay, although the form has obviously taken a different experience. Any questions? Let me know. All is truly one. Have a wonderful day or evening, my fellow expressions of consciousness.